Hello, hello! Perfidious Pete here, back for more monstrous mayhem and fearsome fiends as we head into the terrible tunnels burrowing beneath Perfidious Manor in Darkest Dungeon. And we're closing in on our target, folks. I mean, if Resolve Rank 5 was a gazelle right now, we'd be a tawny lion crouched in the tall grass of the savannah, flexing our claws and licking our chops. We're just a hair's breadth away, as you can see. Half-Cock Jack, Randolph Carter, Candy Jade, and Dr. Strange, right on the cusp, each and every one. They're ready to spring out and sever the hamstrings and tear the throat out of some poor young doe. No doubt, of course, inspiring her fawn with a tragic orphan backstory that causes him or her to spend their adult life dressing up in a human costume and punching other large hunting cats until the savannah is safe for gazelles everywhere. Although, having said that now, I actually really hope that somewhere that is happening as we speak. I don't know about you, I just really like the concept of a large ruminant dressed up in hunter orange, pretending to be a human, running around punching lions and saying things like, "I fear humans. It's time our predators share my dread." Or maybe the patented, "I'm whatever the savannah needs me to be." Something like that. You know, as long as it's gritty and dark. The gritty, dark sort of young deer, I mean, it's a way better story than that Bambi bullshit Disney tried to sell us so long ago. You don't get over the tragic loss of a parent by just responsibly dealing with your grief, moving on, and then growing up to raise a family and live a happy, successful life. Come on, Disney, I'm not buying that shit. I want an angry, hard-drinking, revenge-driven Bambi who lives, you know, toiling in his own misery, bitter, and ruins his chances with Faline in pursuit of hollow vengeance. That's the story I want to see. Sure, maybe it's not the gritty reboot we need, but it's the gritty reboot we deserve right now, Disney. That's the one we deserve. Make that shit happen. Get on it. I want Bambi 2.0. This time, the hunters don't stand a chance. Bambi is back with a vengeance. Anyway, that's enough peeking inside my head for one day. It's a fucking terrifying wreck of horridity in there. You don't really want to look too closely, trust me. So let's just head down to the embarkation point and get to work. Do really like the deer idea, though. Anyway, what do we got for missions here? Alright, so we've got a medium veteran level 3. There's no veteran level mission in the Weald, huh? So we can either deal with the Hag Witch, which we're not going to do, or we can do some piece of garbage mission that I don't care about, and also I'm not going to do. What do we got up here? A short mission. It has 2 crests. We're actually more interested in crests, really. They're sort of what we're looking for right now. What have you got with way of crests? This actually has more crests, is a medium mission, which means more opportunities for loot, and also just flat out more gold, and a dazzling charm, which is terrible. Yeah, that's really bad. We're still going to do this mission, however. I think what we should do, though, I'm going to try something a little bit tricky. I am going to see if we can maybe get little Arya Stark in on one of these missions. I really like grave robbers a great deal, and I would like to get Arya into some of these missions, so I'm going to bring her, even though she is under-leveled. I'm going to bring her along and see if maybe we can't power level her up just a titch. Get her some extra EXP that maybe isn't totally deserved by bringing her on a little higher caliber mission. Or just giving her a chance to go on a mission at all, really, is sort of what we're going to do. Her gear is bad. I have a feeling she'll be able to muddle through, though. I think she can probably make it. So let's put a team together here. Now, we are going to take 3 of our top-notchers. I think probably... Now, Arya, you can work out of the 3rd slot, right? You need to be able to work out of the 3rd slot if we're going to make this happen. Yes, yes, no, and yes. Shadow Fade drops you back 1. Alright, so we can start her in the 2nd slot and then just immediately Shadow Fade her back to 3. All the rest of her stuff will work from 3rd slot, so that's fine. So Arya, you're in slot 2 for the nonce. What if she doesn't go before our number 2 man, though? That's a bit of a problem. Candy, what can you do from the 3rd slot? Nothing. Nothing. Breakthrough. And nothing. Candy really has to stay in the front. I was going to take Half-Cock Jack, but if we're going to try this whole Arya Stark position shifting thing, that really isn't going to work. So maybe we just take Randolph Carter instead. We need to get Randy to rank 5 anyway. And, you know, Randolph Carter kind of deserves it. He has been a really solid addition to our team, and the finder of perhaps more treasure than any other human has ever found previously. Let's go with Lucy Pevensey simply because she's already toting the Puff Puff Pass scroll. She's already got it. Let's just save ourselves a little time. Throw her into the brink already. Everybody's trinkets also should be worked out, with the exception of Arya. Man, the sniper's rings are real good. Don't we have a grave robber only trinket, though, that's just fucking unbelievably amazing? We have some kind of... Yeah, there we go. Plus 20% damage, plus 30% to debuff skills. Minus 10 death blow resistance. She eats twice as much food. You know what? I don't really care. Man, that thing would be amazing as well. Why is that not on... Why is Roderick Usher not wearing the ancestral ring? He should be wearing that. Absolutely. He should be wearing that tough ring. We're going to get rid of one of our sniper's rings, though. And we're going to go with the Grave Robber's Only Talisman. Because, man, this thing is really good. It's really good. Really good. So, God-fearing, not a problem. Ruins Phobe kind of sucks. We're not going to the Ruins, though. Wield Phobe as well, but we're not going there either. We're going to the Warrens. We should be okay. We'll do a little bit of probably sanity maintenance on Arya Stark, assuming she makes it to Resolve Rank 3 after this mission. Could not come back at all, which would be tragic, but them's the breaks. Let's face it, if there's anybody on our team who knows some shit about tragedy, it's fucking Arya Stark. That's a tragic backstory that would make our gritty Bambi reboot look like a fucking bedtime story. For like a 2-year-old. So let's go pretty heavy on food. Arya Stark is going to eat twice as much food. For a little gal, she really can pack it away. And I think one of everything... And you know what we're going to do? We're going full-on Dark Run. I'm going to bring one torch. So we're going to do a full-on Dark Run medium-level mission. This may be one of the stupider ideas I've had in recent history. Which is saying something, because I have a lot of stupid ideas. But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm full of my own hubris. I'm feeling like I can't fail. Really. We haven't had much trouble at all in our Darkest Dungeon run. We've been doing pretty solid. Apart from some unfortunate early demises. R.I.P. forever. A couple guys there. But apart from some initial tragedies and stumbles, we've been pretty strong lately. Really have. So we got to complete 100% of room battles. This is not the worst layout for 100% of room battles we could have gotten. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's pretty easy. It's fairly straightforward. We should have a very minimal backtracking. Which is good, because Arya Stark's going to take way more stress than she should. It's holy water for this thing, I think. And I believe it gives us a buff if we holy water it. Let's do it. The holy water hisses in field. Never mind. We're completely screwed. Minus 20 dodge. Well, that sucks. Alright, so holy water does not go on the occult scrawlings. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Disregard any advice I might give you. I am an idiot. You know what? No. I say no to this bleeding. We brought that bandage for another purpose. I don't care. I say no to the bleeding. I'm not going to have it. I won't have it. Every fight we get into that isn't in a room is a drawback as well. Something else to keep in mind. We could Dazzling Light. You know, these guys are already surprised. We could probably just straight up kill them. Let's judge the Bone Conscript. That's a straight up kill for Lucy to start things off, and healed some of the damage that she took from that bleed, which is nice. Facial Stabbing then. The Enchantress takes 8. Randolph Carter, of course, a strong proponent of facial stabbings in pretty much every situation. We could pick to the face, but I think we're going to Throne Dagger instead. Nicely done, Arya Stark, finishing that guy off, picking up a nice accuracy buff for herself, and it's going to be bleeding out for Mr. Gladiator. Gentleman is not really going to get a go. Oh, he is going to go. Well, crap. Candy Jade, rent for the old gods. That's okay. Candy Jade's used to sacrificing for the old gods. And a nice pick from the face to Arya Stark's going to close things out. And we started off picking up a little bit of loot. Not a good haul, but considering our light level's still really high, we can deal with it. Any loot is better than no loot. Empty room. Onward we go. Now, we do have one potential camping spot as well. Goals. I'm just going to chance this straight up with Doctor Strange. You know, it's a shovel for the pile of bones, right? Nope, it's not a shovel. Well, then let's go with nothing. Just check it out. It's empty anyway. Alright. Well, we've completely wasted a shovel. Good forecasting there, Doctor Strange, or Randolph Carter, rather. You should have some kind of foresight into the future, one would think. This is not good. The reason this is not good, Arya Stark's going to be very vulnerable to stress. Being in a level 3 dungeon at only level 2, she's going to run into some problems with... anytime she gets stressed, she's going to get way more than she should, and we're going on a lightless run, which again means more stress than she should be getting. So things are really going to pile up. We could have Arya freaking out from no stress at all to maximum stress very quickly, especially if this guy hits her with some stress attacks, like Skull Toss, for instance. We could go for... You know, I think we're probably better off to just kill this Corpse Eater. I was considering throwing the debuff at the big guy, and there is some merit in that, but I think we're better off to just get the kills while we can. Make sure those guys never swing, and then we can pile all of our damage onto Mr. Slavering Ghoul here. Did we stun him? Yeah, theoretically. He's not even very stun resistant. We got a reasonable chance with Lucy. Ah, Lucy comes up big. Alright, this guy's just going to stand there and get hacked into chunks then. Whip a dagger at him. 10 damage from Arya Stark. That's pretty good output, actually. She's going to do more damage than Randolph Carter did. Or the same amount of damage. But, you know, Randy's got bucking 3 levels on her. Arya's punching way above her weight. Way above it. Little bleed out. Not sure if ghouls can bleed. Apparently they can. That is fatal damage, I think. It doesn't matter. Arya Stark's going to stick a knife in his eye, and that'll be the end of the road. Perhaps a turning point. Much better gold, so perhaps a turning point in that respect. Let's feed Candy Jade a little. Give her a couple pictures. We picked up a little extra food there. We can afford it. Candy Jade gets a lot of benefit out of food. She heals quite a bit for very little. This fight is ugly. And we got surprised, which is doubly ugly. Alright then. We can deal with this. What's your stun resistance? Really good. What's yours? Less good. We gotta get rid of the spawn, though. These little yakking bastards. If they puke on Arya Stark, it could be all she wrote. So, Arya, you can flashing dagger. Yeah, kill that little son of a bitch. Nice toss, Arya. Nice toss. So, Arya Stark still contributing some solid output for us, even from the back row. I kind of want to put the debuff on. Very seriously considering the vulnerability hex here. You know what? I think it's better to get him vulnerability hexed for Candy than it is to go for the straight up damage. Good dodge from Lucy. Watching out for the Butcher's Cut. The Pig Spear, man, that thing does a ton of aggregate damage. And it has the additional added drawback of pushing that Swine Reaver out of reach. That sucks. You get 10 damage and a bleed from Candy Jade on the hulking Swinotaur, so we got things started. Let's have Ari go ahead and keep just chucking daggers at that Reaver. We got to go for the group heal. We can't take too many of those Pig Spears without patching folks up, and I think we might even be forced to... That's unfortunate. I think we might even have to have a weird reconstruction here out of the good doctor. 24. A critical could kill him. Do it, Doctor Strange. Nah, he didn't quite get there. He got most of the way home. 12 damage is, yeah, it's acceptable. Candy Jade with 10 more damage and a stackable bleed. Yeah, that guy's bleeding 10 around. Oh, that's right. You bleed, Piggy. You bleed. You bleed like a stuck hog because you're a stuck hog. So, you know, if you could bleed like a stuck hog, it's really mostly just appropriate that you would do so. Meanwhile, Butcher's Cut for Lucy. That's unfortunate. That's okay. Lucy's going to be patching us up anyway. 10 bleed from, oh, Piggy. Man, another Pig Spear. Everybody dodged except Candy Jade. That is brilliant. This is going to be fatal damage. Good day to you, hulking Swinotaur, sir. You are done dealing. Nice patch from Lucy, keeping everybody, I would say, topped off, but that's not necessarily true. 10 damage from Randy, which is less than we'd like, but I have a feeling Arya is going to deliver a nice little dagger toss for us to keep us in the mix. Arya Stark, don't let me down. There you go. That's my girl. Alright, so the hulking Swinotaur can just bleed to death or get stabbed in the throat by Randolph Carter, whichever way he wants to go. We'll let him pick his own demise. I'm comfortable with that. What is a debuff charm? It is complete and absolute garbage. Wow, that's actually worse than nothing. That charm is worse than nothing. Yeah, it's so bad, I'm just going to throw it on the floor. Simply so I don't use it by accident at some point. That's how much I don't like it. 12 food. Wow, okay. Well, we'll go ahead and eat some of that then. I think a little food for everyone is in order. A nice light post-battle snack, guys. That's what we'll get. Alright, well, Arya only heals 1. Arguably, that was sort of a waste, but we did need to get some of that food out of our inventory. It was taking up a lot of our slots. Better eaten than thrown on the floor. That's what I always say. What my mom always says, too. Don't waste food. My grandmother also big on not wasting food. It's kind of a theme. Trap. Candy Jade has 60% is pretty good. Dr. Randy, 50% for Randy. 40% actually for Lucy, which is not abysmal. And you know what, Arya Stark? Let's not have you risk it. Candy Jade has the same percentage, and you're going to get way more stressed if you fail. Also, you have a considerably smaller pool of hit points to work with when the failure does occur. We do need to put our party back in proper order. And who do we want to have? Do we have the right tool for this? I don't remember. It's bandages, actually, for this, I believe. Let's just raw chance it with Randolph Carter. Nasty gash. Alright, so Randy's bleeding a little. That's no big deal. Little bit of blood. He can just use that blood to fuel one of his rituals. It's fine. It's okay. It's perfectly fine, Randolph. Just catch it in a nice little bowl, and then when it comes time to, you know, consort with the elder abominations from beyond the moon, you can sacrifice that blood to Nub Shoggoth. Speaking of sacrificing the blood, Nub Shoggoth, this swine spawn is going to die before he pukes on Arya Stark. He actually is our sort of primary target. Abyssal Artillery time. Getting him closed out, and that gives Arya a shot at a Swine Marcher. Theoretically, it's a bad shot, but it is a shot. That guy has fatal damage, I believe. Yep, he's dead. Arya's going to whip a dagger at a pig. Take that, pig man. And I think... let's have Randolph Carter fix himself up. He's pretty bashed up. Getting rent for the old gods. 3 damage, nothing Arya Stark can't handle. She resisted the bleed, which is good. Drums of Doom, this is a problem. You know, all things considered, the aggregate stress there was not terrifically horrible, is what I was trying to say. Not fatal damage there. Arya, you got to get a dagger in this pig. There's the critical we've been waiting for a good long while, and Arya Stark getting almost all of the Drums of Doom back for us. Nicely done.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Yeah, well, prodigious size may not dissuade the sharpened blade. That's true, Mr. Narrator, but it certainly doesn't hurt against the sharpest blade. Ouch. Really? It's 11 damage critical, Mr. Narrator. I don't think Candy Jade is about to break from 1 11 damage critical. She's seen way worse than that, sir.
Remind yourself that
Narrator's overselling. Really.
Killer.
Trying to talk this up and make it something it's not. He is. Let's just eat 1 food with Candy Jade to help take care of some of that bleed. We are going to continue on. Again, we do still have some camping, but our stress is relatively low. So until we need stress relief, I think trying to avoid camping as long as possible is going to be beneficial. We'll take this extra torch because, hey, free torch. If nothing else, we can burn it in celebration at the end of the mission. Get one of these severed pig heads off the pole and dance around like the kids from The World of the Flies. It'll be sweet. We can reenact a William Golding novel. Everyone will be happy. Checking out boxes. Severed heads in boxes is a Randolph Carter job. Of course, it's never severed heads in boxes when Randolph Carter is on the job. It's always something good. And crests actually are the one heirloom we're most concerned about. So if we have to find anything, crest is actually the thing we want to find currently. Candy Jade has gone 3 for 3 on the trap disarms, which is remarkable. Randy, yeah, go ahead and look. Nothing but rotting bodies. Okay, we have to assume at this point that rotting bodies do not disturb Randolph Carter. The guy's seen way, way worse shit than a few rotten corpses. So we're headed back. We got an extraneous battle, which is unfortunate, but it is an additional opportunity for loot. Let's look on the positive side. Let's go for the whole silver lining kind of thing. It is a chance to get a little extra loot. We are almost certain to not stun this guy, and I'm still going to try it. Very low % chance here. Yeah, no surprise that did not work. We do want the vulnerability hex on him, however. This early in the game, he resisted the debuff, which is problematic. Weaken Prey is not hugely, though. It's just gonna, yeah, it's marking Arya. Probably what we want to do for Arya would be... well, clearly the right move actually would be to Shadow Fade and try to get her as much dodge as possible. But that would put her back 1, and it leaves Randolph Carter in not necessarily a fantastic spot. So we're just going to leave her where she's at and have her keep whipping knives at the enemy. She's doing okay. She's holding her own, and we can have Lucy patch her up. Whip a knife at this muncher. Nice kill. Arya Stark's actually doing some pretty solid damage for us as well, I gotta admit. I'm not displeased with the amount of damage output we're getting from our little grave robber, which is one of the reasons why I brought her along. I do really very much like grave robbers. A lot. It's just we sort of got on the grave robber wagon a little late in the game and didn't necessarily have as much opportunity to level them up as we did some of our other characters. Like some plague doctors who were taking up roster slots unnecessarily for a good goddamn long time. I'm not going to name any names, Dr. Moreau, who were not particularly useful. Another hunger prompt, that's our second one. We really only need 8 food to go with our camp wood, however. So we still have more than an abundance of ready food to achieve that goal, and I'm probably in all likelihood... well, you know, I said I was going to camp soon anyway, but 38 stress is our peak. We may hold off. We may try and do like a post-mission camp if it's possible. Getting a lot of gold here. So I only get gold when I'm more interested in heirlooms, and apparently I only get heirlooms when I'm really concerned about gold. So what I should do if I want heirlooms is just drive myself into a financial crisis, then come into the dungeon and I should have nothing but crests. Treasure room here, almost certain to be a fight. Yep. A hulking Swinotar is never something you want to see. Seriously, if you actually see a hulking Swinotar in real life, I advise you to flee and call the authorities at your earliest convenience. Getting a little bit of that stress back with a nice critical from Lucy. It was, in fact, a singular strike, Mr. Narrator. Well observed, sir. Arya's going to do double duty there for us, getting 12 damage, which is acceptable. Randolph Carter. Nice throat slitting from the Randy, and some more stress relief for our guys. And I have to point out, Arya Stark, as I said, she grew up in Westeros, man. Arya is fucking hard. Rolling still at 0 stress, while her more experienced betters are starting to freak out a little bit. Arya Stark doesn't give a single fuck. Another critical. Man, we are starting to stack up some very significant stress relief from criticals. A trot retreat from old Swinotar that missed. Arya's going to whip a dagger in this guy's big eye. Right in the center of his big fat chest. Going to carve herself off a nice ham steak for tomorrow's breakfast. We're going to put a big heal on Candy Jade. Candy's a little bunged up. Randy with yet another critical to close things out, and even more stress relief. Everybody's coming down except for old Candy Jade is still a little worried. Ton of cash here, folks. A ton of cash. What do we throw in the ground? We can't get rid of our shovels. That's nope. That's a no-no. We could ditch this anti-venom, or we could ditch this jade, but that is 500 gold. Could stack up to 1,000. We could also get rid of the torches, or the... Yeah, you know what? Let's get rid of the anti-venom. It's least likely to be useful. And that's it. This mission is actually complete. I am going to continue looking around the dungeon just because I'm a greedy pig, much like our Swinotar friend. And I want to try and get as many crests and such as I can. Also, more cash is, you know, not bad either. So we're going to keep looking around. And with this scouting, we can really only sort of pick fights that we want to pick. We can bail whenever we want, so... We're already provisioned, and we're down here. No reason to not look around a little bit. It's like when you find yourself at a flea market. Yeah, sure, you don't want to buy something from a flea market because it's a flea market, but you're already here and you've got some jingle in your jeans, and you never know, you might be digging through an old box of crap and find a Stradivarius violin like Homer Simpson. It's not a likely scenario, but it could happen. Wasn't likely for Lucy Pevensey to one-shot that spider either, but damn sure she did it. Arya going for the Weber in the back. Not quite enough oomph on that dagger throw to get the job done. Randolph Carter taking a bit of a webbing. That's no real problem. Randy's going to fire back. And I would say slit a spider's throat, but I don't think spiders have throats. It's an interesting question. If you cut a spider's throat area, what would you be cutting, really? I mean, would you, like, slit its thorax? Actually, its thorax is, like, the back part. Oh, that's a question for a smarter man than me. Someone should ask that. An entomologist, how that particular shit works. Also, we should probably try and get one of those guys as a sample for the entomologist. I'm sure he'd be stoked to check it out. Portraits we don't really need. I'm actually ditching all of our portraits. I'm going to take deeds and bust. Actually, I'll probably wind up ditching those deeds, too. Busts and crests are sort of what we're looking for at the moment. We're going to have plenty of opportunity to pick up any remaining sort of earthings, but we need a lot of crests, actually. Like a couple hundred still we need. Candy, why don't you check that out? Man, Candy Jade knocking it down in the traps. We should have her take notes that she could give to Randolph Carter later, because, damn, that guy... Oh, hey, positive effect from a stack of books. Amateur armor smith for a guy who has... You know, okay, yeah, sure. He isn't already rank 5 or anything in his armor, so, you know, that's... desiccated and unremarkable. Eh, well. Not every book can be Stephen King's The Sand. Some books are, you know, Wizard and Glass. Even a fucking literary hero like Stephen King can't hit them all out of the park. And if you've read Wizard and Glass, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because that book is fucking shitty. And this is coming... I'm not pooping on Stephen King either. I love Stephen King. He's actually, I think, greatly underappreciated. I don't even think he gets as much credit as the guy deserves. He's really a very strong writer. That being said, there is still the whole Wizard and Glass thing just lurking out there. Lurking. Alright, I almost took that one with Arya Stark. What did he get? He got Calm. That's a speed penalty? Nope, it's fucking terrible for somebody who's as fast as Randolph Carter. Man, that is a shitty ability. So that cost us at least 1,000 gold and a trip to the sanitarium for Randy, because that ability has gots to go. I'm going to go for the stun on the ghoul. Didn't get it. Was hoping to keep our stress as low as possible, but doesn't look like that's really going to be an option for us. Let's put a vulnerability hex on him and see if maybe we can lower his damage output. We did get the debuff, so that's something. Let's go and whip a dagger at him. 10 damage from Arya, that's reasonable. You know, I think once Arya gets to level 5... Oh, this is fucking terrible. Yeah, look at that. Wow! 44 stress from a single hit. It was, in fact, a terrible goddamn assault, Mr. Nader. Well observed there. We're going to get a little bit of it back, but holy shit. Right in our butt, we took that one. Right in the butt. Ouch. No lube, no nothing to soften the blow. Just straight up, hard-pounding anal violation we got there. Damn. And a skull toss for... Lucy's probably going to have to go in for... Holy shit, man. 2 attacks, Lucy Pevensey has gone from almost no stress at all to almost completely stressed out. We haven't camped yet, but we're not going to get this kind of stress reduction, folks. It's not going to happen. There isn't enough stress reduction in the world for that shit. We also didn't get the kill. Fortunately, Arya's going to be able to knife him in the head. Now, we do have plenty of stress. You know what? It might have been worth it. Plus 3 crit, plus 10% dodge, minus 10% damage. Now, you might be saying minus 10% damage sucks. And you're right, it does suck. But if we take a look at what we could compare it to, it's an extra 3% crit and an extra 10 dodge. It would pair quite nicely with this Grave Robber Talisman. It gives us plus 20% extra damage. Those two things do go together pretty well. We're definitely going to make room for it in our inventory. That's an absolute certainty. We can't afford to get rid of some of this extra food. Let's start eating that. I'd rather keep the gold, honestly. So, I don't want to just throw it on the floor. Sorry, my better instincts just don't allow me to waste food by just simply throwing it on the floor. I can't do it. Something in my very nature rebels. Nobody but Randolph Carter's checking out a stack of books. Yeah, you know, Randy's got 2 positive benefits. Granted, one of them was not of dubious usefulness. Amateur Armorsmith and Meditator, I think, just gets him stress heal better in camp, I believe. And then one thing that's going to require a trip to the sanitarium. So all in all, our interaction with books has been somewhat positive, but still a little disappointing. Empty crate. Another, oh, you've got to be kidding me with these slavering ghouls. Such bullshit. Get the stun. Damn it. This guy could put somebody in freak out mode. We need a critical here, Arya. Damn. Okay, so a vomit. Yeah, Lucy Pevensey is full-on freak out. Oh, she's got to be a biscuit away. She is 6 short of a full-on freak out. Vomiting Charlie back here has got to go. We can't have sorority girls puking all over the place. And this is it. It's freak out for Lucy, unless she dodged. She did not dodge. She's full-on freak out. She is now irrational. Arguably, one could say she was kind of irrational beforehand, so she is going to be giving everybody else stress. This fight has got to end as swiftly as possible. I still want the loot, so I am going to fight it out. Granted, I know that I could simply just run away, but I am going to fight it out anyhow. Because I want the loot. I mean, if I'm going to take all the stress, we've already suffered the penalty, we might as well try and get the fucking benefit out of it. Come on. And this is more likely to critical, so I'm going to throw the knife. Didn't get the job done, but them's the breaks. That got the job done. We got 4 stress back, too. Whoop-de-dit. Actually, we got no stress back. We got 4 back, and then Lucy Pevensey said something rude to Candy Jade and gave us 8 more. We're going to take all of this. Alright, so it's time to start throwing shit on the floor, then. What's hitting the floor here, folks? I mean, other than the bodies. Of course, we got to let the bodies hit the floor. That's just what good bodies do. Bodies hit the floor. We're definitely taking the crests. That's 500. Those are both the same. We don't need the bandage at all. We can't even use it. We're not going to need the shovel, actually. We can bump the shovel. So let's bump the shovel, take another emerald. I kind of need busts, actually. We got to keep 8 food. Let's get rid of the deeds. I would actually rather have 500 gold than those deeds. And then we're going to get to this room so we can camp at the end of the mission. Just stop being a... We're almost done, Lucy. Stop being a fucking irrational, mean bitch. Just settle down.
Wealth beyond measure.
I don't need food. I'm taking a jade, and I'm taking a crest. So I'm glad we actually came down here. We got 6 more additional crests out of that, if nothing else. And this room should be empty. Or at least there's no fight in here, or our mission wouldn't be complete. Now we can camp. Get out the guitar. Time for a little kumbaya. Everybody settle down a little bit. Things have gone a little sideways, but I mean, it's not like we're talking about a Paul Giamatti movie here. It's not that bad. Unbreakable. We'll have you abandon hope, yeah. That's going to get rid of most of Randolph Carter's stress. What can you do? Gallows? Yeah, absolutely gallows humor. Wow, gallows humor is the shit. That really got it done for us. Wow. So you're going to reject the gods, right? Yep. Lucy, we don't really care about your stress. I mean, you were already fucking shithouse crazy and going in for stress relief. It hardly matters. Night moves is largely irrelevant. We don't care about wound care. We don't care about that. So we have enough time to encourage two people. Let's encourage Arya Stark. And then Arya, in turn, will encourage Candy Jade. I mean, turnabout is fair play, folks. One good turn deserves another. And then let's just leave the dungeon. I don't even want to rest. Can we do anything with our one remaining time? I don't think we can do anything with that. Nope. So off we go, out of the dungeon. We got our stress relief, and the only person who's going to wind up in a sanitarium as a result is Lucy Pevensey, which is fine. We have an abundance of rank 4 clerics, really. We can kind of afford to spare her. Take a look at our crest count here. We should have done pretty damn well, like 36, I think. Also picked up 3 busts, which is not as many as I would have liked. 3 deeds, we could take it or leave it. We did get 17,750 gold, which is pretty solid. Did Candy make Resolve rank 5? Nope. She's got to be like 1 short. Ruminator. Penalty stress heal. Well, I kind of want to get rid of that. Hater of Eldritch is good. She missed it by 1. She fucking missed it by 1. Alright, Candy. That's okay. We'll get you next time. Arya Stark got Fear of Unholy, which is terrible. Randolph Carter also missed it by fucking 1. Lucy Pevensey missed it by more than 1. Wait, I can't tell, actually. Now, Lucy's actually quite a way short. And she got Curious, which isn't a huge drawback. Still, we're going to need some tendon to the old Lucinator, so she's going to be locked up for a good long while. Roderick Usher got rid of Wheelphobe. Man, Madeline Usher is no longer fangophobic. Arya is a veteran grave robber. Got her badge, apparently. She encountered her first mort safe, and upon successfully digging it up and dealing with that, was promoted to veteran grave robber. Let's resort by level. Lucy, you got to get rid of the puff, puff, pass scroll because, well, it's going to be someone else's turn to puff and or pass on that bad boy. So we'll just take that off your hands, and I think we'll send you to Yon Sanitarium for a little bit of treatment here. Thanatophobia. Curious sucks. Yeah, Thanatophobia is real bad. Let's get rid of that, and then we'll probably send her back in again, actually, to get rid of Curious. Doctor Strange, you also picked up something terrible, right? Or, nope, sorry, that was Randolph Carter. My bad, my bad. Randy is calm, which has got to go. We want our Randolph Carter, the kind of man who flies into a foaming berserker rage at the drop of a pin. So, into the sanitarium for you, sir. We would like you to be less mentally healthy, actually. Lucy is in full-on freak-out mode. We don't really care. She'll get her some stress relief once she's done in the sanitarium. Nobody else really needs a whole lot of tending to. Other than potentially also going to the sanitarium, really. I mean, that's a thing. We do want to upgrade our stagecoach. This is one of the reasons why we went in looking for crests. We have enough deeds to increase our roster size to 20. We're going to do that. We'll come back for these at a later date. I mean, we're going to pick up deeds as we go. That's not really much of a problem. And then it's to the tavern, I believe. Or some final round upgrades with our portraits. Yeah. Alright, so let's get the bar and the gambling hall. Don't have enough crests for the brothel, so that'll have to wait for a later day. But our tavern is very nearly fully upgraded. That's exciting. I do love me a nice, nice pub. We're going to have to rename it. We're going to have to give this tavern a better name than just tavern. We'll have to call it like the Fox and the Bull or like the Cock and Berries or something. For, you know, British pub names are typically like that. And I think that's cool. Much better than what we have here, which is like Gary's Bar. Way less cool. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I would much, much rather drink in, like the Queen's 2 Bits than Gary's Bar. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, feel free to drop a like down in the comments section. Your support really does mean a lot to us. And if you'd like to catch more Darkest Dungeon episodes every 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, consider subscribing as well. Get those notifications sent straight to your YouTube channel page. Right now, however, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.